Over the last 10 to 15 years, outsourcing of logistics activities to third-party logistics providers has become increasingly commonplace. Yet, industry is littered with many organisations who have struggled to obtain the results that they were hoping for. Why? In this module, I will outline firstly the reason why organisations outsource logistics activities, and secondly, what are the key drivers for outsourcing success? Hopefully, you can take away the fundamentals and apply them wisely to your business. So, why do organisations outsource logistics operations? There are four main reasons. Firstly, warehousing and distribution management is not seen as a core skill of the company. For example, manufacturers who choose to focus on the make process rather than the move or ship part of the supply chain. Such companies look for experts in moving and shipping to augment their residual experience in making products. Secondly, performance is suboptimal. This is related to the core skill issue. Often organisations that have a strategic focus other than in transport or warehousing cannot attain the desired performance levels and key performance indicators required by their customers. So, they seek contract providers who can provide this. Thirdly, reduction in capital tied up in distribution centres. Warehouses are expensive to buy and run, so often companies seek to remove the warehouse assets from their balance sheet and redirect capital gained from sale of assets to other parts of the business. Ultimately, they transfer all of the costs of distribution to the profit and loss account. This has become a blessing for third-party logistics providers who have won large amounts of work for this reason alone. Flexibility and scalability, point number 4. With the advent of e-commerce, increasing globalisation and rationalisation of industries, today's marketplace demands fast, flexible and efficient supply chains. Coupled with the shorter strategic planning horizons, use of third-party logistics providers gives organisations flexibility to change their method to market and volumes handled with almost immediate effect. It is simply not possible to respond quickly to a market if there is dedicated and rigid network of warehousing and transportation assets in place. So, to reiterate the 4 common reasons to outsource, they are: 1. Warehousing and distribution is not core business. 2. Performance is suboptimal. 3. Reduction in capital. 4. Flexibility and scalability. Wait a minute, I hear you say. What about the cost? Where does that come in? Contrary to common belief, cost is seldom a deciding factor or driver for outsourcing decisions. Why? Very rarely do companies save money through merely outsourcing warehousing and transport. They may attain savings over a period of time, possibly 3 to 5 years, but not simply from the act of outsourcing logistics. The reason is elementary. Third-party logistics companies have to pay the same operating costs as other organisations. Yes, they may be able to negotiate discount rates with transport companies and other suppliers, but there is often limited disparity between the costs of a third-party provider and any other organisation. And don't forget, the third-party provider has to add a margin to their costs to be profitable. In my experience, the cost difference can range from between 5 to 12% above the current costs of operation. Now, what are the drivers for success in an outsourcing arrangement? First one, strategic alignment. The outsourcing decision must align with the company's strategic direction. This is common sense, but unfortunately not so common. Amazingly, many companies have suffered after outsourcing decisions have been made at an operational level, without due regard to the board's strategy. Such organisational dissonance is a nightmare to remedy after contracts are established, so beware. The second driver, attention to detail. When seeking third-party quotations and contracts, there is no room for intuition or your best guess on order velocities, volumes, processes and service requirements. Very detailed specifications must be prepared with full disclosure of all available data. There is rarely too much information that you can gather. But alas, where there is an absence of good interpretation of data, this causes major issues in the outsourcing relationship. The old saying, "Let the buyer beware," applies, but also extends to the seller as well. So in logistics, where a partnership relationship is critical, the adage becomes, "Let the outsourcer and the third-party logistics provider beware." Take heed. The third driver is resource wisely. Both during implementation and the ongoing partnership, a solid team is critical. From both sides, both the customer and the third-party logistics company must create an opening and trusting working relationship. The team should include senior relationship managers from across the organisation who meet regularly to discuss and monitor progress and performance. The fourth driver, raise potential issues early. From my experience, issues that are not dealt with proactively and in good time can fester into relationship breakers and end in disaster. So both parties should have a long-term perspective and be mature in their outlook and approach, always avoiding disrespectful behaviour to the other party. It never helps if one party is kicking the other. The fifth driver is using key performance indicators wisely to manage the contract and agreement with regular reviews. Data speaks volumes in terms of performance. For both warehousing and transport, key performance indicators should be agreed at the outset. As a rule of thumb, no more than 6 key performance indicators should be used. But make sure you choose the ones that are most meaningful to your business. In this way, a focus on the facts can help remove emotionally charged opinions or feelings by either party. So, let me summarise the five key drivers for success. Firstly, strategic alignment. Secondly, attention to detail. Number 3, resource wisely. Fourthly, raise issues early and deal with them. And fifthly, use key performance indicators to manage. Whether you are an organisation seeking to outsource or a third-party logistics provider, by following these tips, you will be well equipped to enter into an outsourcing agreement which is fertile for growth and well placed to build that into a mature and successful partnership. I wish you every success in your outsourcing planning, implementation and ongoing management.